Here I'm using a 5.5 millimeters hook. Make a slip stitch. Yarn over the hook with the tail yarn. Then pull the main yarn through these two loops. This count as a stitch or a double chain. Now repeat the process. Chain 1 and let's begin round 1. Take 2 loops of the double chain. Single crochet. Chain 1. And single crochet in the next stitch. Repeat this across the entire cord. For row 2, attach the second yarn in the first stitch of the previous row. In the first and last chain spaces, we will make 2 single crochets. But in the rest, there will be 3 single crochet in each chain space. 1, 2, and 3. Continue this pattern across until the last chain space. In the last chain space, make 2 single crochet. And the last goes on top of the last single crochet of the previous row. Cut the yarn and pull the tail through the last loop. Tighten this last stitch, and weaving the tail through the back loops is enough to secure the stitches. I prefer weaving the tail of the stitches on the top, because it tends to show up less as we change the colors. Now, row 3. We attach the next yarn in the first single crochet of the previous row. Chain 1 and make an extended half double crochet in the same stitch. From now on, we'll be doing an extended half double crochet in each stitch all the way across. Notice that all the increases were made in the last row, so the tip here is to follow the curvature without tightening too much the top of the stitches. So you may need to loosen a little bit the loop on the hook. If it's too tight, the work will begin cupping. So you can check with your hook if the stitch will stand perpendicular to the center of the curvature. In this row, the stitches should look like this. Then, the last stitch goes on top of the last single crochet of the previous row. Weave in the ends. Now heading to row 4. Attach the next yarn and make a single crochet. This is on top of the first extended half double crochet. Chain 1 and single crochet in next stitch. And repeat this pattern until the last stitch. So here in the last stitch, we'll be doing 2 single crochet in the same stitch, without a chain in between. Cut and weave in the ends. Row 5. Attach the yarn in the first stitch of the previous row. The pattern is the same as row 2, but I'll show you some details. If you are using an acrylic yarn or any other yarn that is more squishy and more elastic than cotton, I suggest making 2 single crochet in each chain space instead of 3. This would be the alternative version on the written pattern. In the main version, this row will end up a bit wavy. But don't worry, this will help to sustain the weight of the yarn and create a sturdy structure. This is what we have until now. So here in the end of the row, we'll work 2 single crochet in the last chain space. Skip 1 stitch, and make the last single crochet on top of the last single crochet of the previous row. Row 6, it's exactly the same as row 3, even for the alternative version. And the same trick, follow the curvature as you are doing a circle. We can check along the way if the surface is getting flat. I like to organize it as I go. You may need to accommodate the stitches in the ends. Almost there. Row 7. This row is here to bring everything together and settle the surface. It consists on single crochet in each stitch all the way across. Be sure to make these stitches relatively loose, because there are no increases. If the edge is curving anyways, you can try adding a chain between the stitches like in the beginning of the flexible border. Switching to a larger hook may also help. Here, I've made a knot. And then weave the ends. Okay, now we're heading to the finishing touches. Secure the tail of the initial cord. I'm going to make a tassel to attach at the bottom of the windcatcher.